This made the memories of the sexual assault bubble up to the surface for me. When I told him that my opinions about genderism were changing, he mansplained to me the female experience and misogyny, and that I had internalized misogyny for not accepting a fellow woman. That's called gaslighting and ritual conditioning and manipulation. He would brag to me that his breasts were now bigger than mine. I was scared of going no contact with him because I was afraid he would slander me to all of my local friends, whom he personally knew. My fear of being slandered and his accounts being believed were confirmed when it was revealed to me that Phil had sexually harassed a local friend of mine, whom I'll call Soren, several times. Sexually harassed. Okay. Saying in detail how much he wanted to, anally penetrate Soren when Soren was with his girlfriend. Talk about creepy. I'm ashamed to say that I didn't report these things to the police, but I was afraid for the safety of me and my family. One of Nikita's friends was a dangerous criminal from Hell's Angels. Apparently, he served time in prison for being, in quotes, falsely accused of being a sexual assaulter. I knew there was a potential that Nikita would use his criminal friends to send a message if I ever did something against him. These are not the only negative experiences I've had with autogynephiles. There are some others that are very disturbing, and it didn't help that I had been groomed to accept this as normal, where I was constantly badgered about my pronouns and gender identity, as well as being missexed. About half of the trans-identified men I've known have assaulted me, molested me, or sexually harassed me. The other ones I've known, I haven't gotten to know very well beyond being acquainted, so I don't know how many of that half are predatory. When I've talked about my experiences online, and especially in political debate communities, most responses range from something like, "That's sad, but you're weaponizing your trauma," to, "You are a lying B-word. You're insane. Even if it did happen, you deserved it. You deserve to be dragged out into you now deserve to be dragged out into the streets and to be beaten to a pulp." This is in civilized Scandinavia. This is just so indoctrinated and brainwashed and seeping with porn. When I talked vaguely about my experiences with trans-identified men on my Instagram story, a friend/classmate reached out to me to confront me. So a friend. I'm actually not sure if this is someone who identifies as trans, but this friend/classmate reached out to me to confront me on how uncomfortable my posts made her feel. She also said, "People say things they'll regret on social media when they're having a mental breakdown." Remind anyone of game show Dylan? I felt like she was spitting in my face under the guise of concern trolling for my well-being. It was obscene. I've had so many young women confront me to police me on how I should be allowed to talk about my abuse experiences. Again, I'm going to say this is in a very equal rights-oriented, civilized Scandinavian country. Many psychiatrists have told me that I might be on the autism spectrum. I think this is a definite possibility and an explanation as to why I've been taken advantage of so many times by paraphilic and predatory men. That does often happen to individuals who have special needs.